Hello, and welcome to Frightening Fridays, Episode 1, where we're actually going to be focusing on a quite popular creepypasta. It's actually my favorite, Ben Drowned. It's a Majora's Mask creepypasta. Let's get into it. I'm going to try to summarize a little bit so I don't have to go through this giant story, which was heavily detailed and actually came along with a video, but I can't show it. So, here it goes. I recently moved into my dorm room, starting as a sophomore in college, and a friend of mine gave me a Nintendo 64, and it came with the yellow controller and a quite beaten up copy of Super Smash Bros. Of course, getting bored of beating up so many level 9 CPUs, which are the hardest in the game, I decided that I would go 20 minutes or so off of campus to see if I could find any good games in local garage sales. I found Pokemon Stadium, GoldenEye, and F-Zero, and 2 more controllers for the 64. Now, there was a house at the end that brought me towards it. I don't know why, but there was something about it. I was approached by a man with a crooked smile, and I could tell he was blind in one eye, and he had a kind of glazed over look on it, and I don't know why I would approach this man. If it wasn't for being in the middle of the day and people in shouting distance, I wouldn't even approach this man. I asked him if he had any old video games, but I was also prepared to make an excuse to leave if he said that he didn't know what a video game was. But to my surprise, he said he'd be back in a jiffy, and I saw some paintings on a table that kind of looked like the paintings that a psychiatrist would show you. But there was one that looked like Majora's Mask, the heart shape with the spikes coming out of it. So I looked through them, and he comes up with a box with, believe it or not, the copy of Majora's Mask. I laughed nervously as he handed me the Nintendo 64 cartridge. It was a standard gray color, except someone had written Majora on the back of it in permanent marker. I was so excited to finally have this game, for I haven't played it in so many years. The old man smiled to me and said that I could have it for free. That made me absolutely amazed, but also suspicious. He said it used to belong to a kid who didn't live here anymore, which made it sound like something went wrong and he was dead. But just skipping all that information, I just went home, and went to go try it out. There was a save file called Ben, so out of respect for the previous owner, I kept it there. I made a new file called Link, but every once in a while, an NPC would call me Ben instead of Link, so I thought fixing this problem, I could delete the Ben file and people would start calling me Link, but they would still call me Ben. Now, Ben was actually he was 3/4 through the bosses. He was on the 3rd day at the Stone Tower Temple and the moon was about to fall. But even after deleting the Ben file, I was still being called Ben, so I got frustrated and put the game down. I started playing the game again last night. I got the Lens of Truth and tried to do the 4th day glitch. Right, you know, the glitch where, well, I'll let you guys look it up. It's called the 4th day glitch. I don't really want to explain it. However, when I went to go exit the telescope, instead of being greeted by the astronomer, I was in the Skull Kid boss room. Like the game was bugged or something. I went to go reach the reset button, but a text appeared on my screen that said, "You're not sure why, but you apparently had a reservation." I instantly recognized that text. You get that message when you get the room key from Anju at the Stockpot Inn. Now, I kind of felt like the game was trying to communicate with me. I started navigating the room again, seeing if there was a way to trigger something. Then I realized how stupid I was. To even think someone could reprogram a game like this was absurd. But sure enough, 15 seconds later, another message appeared on the screen. It was a pre-existing phrase. Go to the lair of the boss temple, yes or no. I paused for a second, realizing I could say no, but I chose yes. A new day with the text line beneath it, and I was filled with a sense of dread and impending fear for what I had experienced. The only way I can describe it is it feels like inexplicable depression on profound scales. I appeared in some kind of weird Twilight Zone version of Clocktown. As I walked around it, there was really nothing around, and usually when you do the glitch, the NPCs are usually kind of gone, but the guards and the dog that runs around are usually there. But it was weird. I had 4 hearts to my name in the hero's boat, but at this point, I wasn't even considered for my avatar. I felt that I was personally in some kind of danger. It was starting to wear on my mental state. Every now and then I would hear the faint laugh of the happy mask salesman in the background, just quiet enough, but I could also hear the song of healing reversed for so long, and the loop started to get to me, started affecting my mental state once again. I'd never felt so alone in a video game. So I tried actually breaking this glitch by going to the pool and drowning myself. But it showed a picture of the happy mask salesman smiling at me. Not Link, but me, with the Skull's Kid scream in the background. And then, that's Elegy of Emptiness. It was the Link statue from the Elegy of Emptiness. And screamed as the thing stared back at me. So the 4th wall was basically broken. So I went to the Swordsmaster's dojo. As I ran to the back, I don't know why, but the statue kept on following me, kept on, until it reread in a screamed, and the fade turned to Dawn of New Days. / / / / / / / The screen faded, and I was standing on top of Clock Tower again, but this time I floated up into the air, caught on fire in a burst of electricity, and instantly died. Now, this was not a thing that usually happens, and he was even in a weird position. This happened a few times until eventually he just kept on dying. And there was a new file called Your Turn, but all I could do was stare at Link's dead body, and a message came up: "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" And it kicked me over to the title screen. Now, this is the part where Your Turn was here, but Ben was back, and I was kind of scared. I turned the game off at that point. Well, yes, but I came back eventually and felt like exploring Clocktown. I dove back to the old man's house to ask about why this game was so buggy and why all these creepy things were happening and why I was being followed by this statue and who was Ben and what does all this mean. But when I got there was nothing but a for sale sign in his yard, and the old man was nowhere to be found. Now, I kind of screwed some parts up here. I kind of skipped past some important parts, but if you really want to see the full part, there's some sites you could visit, some YouTube channels, but I was just here to kind of give an opinion. Now, this is an absolutely great creepypasta, absolute favorite, this one is. But as the author actually came up and just said that it was fake. It was a fake creepypasta just for some attention. But that doesn't matter because most creepypastas are fake. But this was a great creepypasta, and if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it 9 out of 10. And it was absolutely amazing. If you want to hear the full story, look it up or watch it on some other YouTuber's channel. But that was it this time, guys. Leave suggestions for the next Frightening Friday video, whether it's a game or a creepypasta, down below. And I will see you tomorrow with a funny skit. Bye.